with a bang. Blockbuster debut of universal power. The curtain rose and suddenly it sprang. A transformational, sensational, organic shower.
This show bids you have a blast. A megaton just like the one that links us to our past.
The greatest action drama of all time. A universal moving picture with the star-filled cast.
13.7 billion years ago, the world we know exploded forth.
Act by act, this show plays on. Great galaxies and tragedies that span the constellations. Scene by scene, we'll bring things down to earth. From bang of birth to human nations.
13.7 billion years hence, our essence has carried forth. Shine a spotlight on the one light that we have. Cast the blue lights on the steps toward our destination. Bring the sound up so our voices may be heard. My word, what a great sensation.
And so, in the split second of a split second of a split second, our universe was born with a power unknowable to human senses. Over billions of years, evolving masses and energy have propelled the world, close at hand and far away, in an awesome, ever-changing journey, a journey which has resulted in something bewildering and precious, which we call life. And you, the human species, the most perplexing and complex part of this rarest of phenomena. Tonight we weigh your complexity and discover, through your discoveries, the story of our fascinating world that has grown to unimaginable millions of light years from the fraction of a pinpoint in the fraction of a moment. Curiously, much of what exists now in our universe existed from the very beginning. Like old friends, elements born in the first nanoseconds of the Big Bang are still among us, in our stars, in the planets and moons, in our atmosphere, protecting us, warming us, and aiding us during our brief visit on our planet Earth. Let us now welcome the oldest of the old, our beloved old elements.
Look, look to the sky. Consider the glitter that graces your eyes. I profess, if not for me, there would be no starlight for you to see. Feel the warmth of the sun. Without my cloud, life could not have begun. With a great modesty, I would remind that without my essence, there'd be no mankind. And though I am elder to all in existence, my life-giving force is alive. And though fuel on which galaxies thrive. Observe every star from your near burning sphere to the farthest far. Ever beyond and forever I'll go, and for what you call always, I'll keep them aglow. But strong, abused and misused, I too can do wrong. By nature I nurture and give life and day, but by hand of man I can blast life away. And though I am older than an outer space boulder, my explosive good life lives on. From celestial orbs, what the earth feels with every new dawn. Look to the night. Give every season a reason for sight. Bold constellations fill skies everywhere. But if they weren't lit, you'd not know they were there. I light up the sky, and there's no other element that's lighter than I. For billions of years, I've kept stars burning steady, but you're so bright too. I'm sure you knew that already. Fraction of a second when the cosmic cluster blew, and it defined my designation as atomic number 2. So I remained locked to my fate of second best, and what is worse is that the universal ebb and flow maintains a balanced status quo. In theory, more than likely then I never will be first.
I am the second gas in the universal mass. I am so light and free, yet I will never be first. Thus I am cursed on number 2 spot,
And that is my lot. I'm designated as number 2. I'm called yellow, but I feel blue I am the second most abundant. I've no wish to be redundant, but it's tragic that all I can boast is that I'm toast at being the most. Oh, I can dance my way over Earth's so weak and puny atmosphere. I'll thumb my nose as I rise up from Earth's willy-nilly crackled crust. And I can fly 1,000,000 miles through outer space before the day is done. But when it comes to escaping self-effacing, I'm a bust. I help create airborne festoons when I fill up blimps and balloons. To my dismay, I'm used at parties when inhaled by class of smarties, seeking easy and cheesy type luck. And they suck to sound like Donald Duck. So I've become, on planet Earth, a tool for fun and human mirth. And so why should I be surprised when even science has surmised of all the symbols I can be? They've chosen he. As a liquid, I'm a quick bid for detection of electron speed velocity. I help divers be survivors from the menace of the bends. I give pressure to the sun and to the tanks from which the mighty rockets run. And contemplating second rating makes me pressure to wits' ends. If you're perplexed at my lament, just keep in mind, I'm an element. And though you may think that you're able to be certain that I'm stable, keep in mind, there are things you can't know, like the pressures that might make me blow. I already feel dissed. Don't make me more pissed.
He's been a traveler since the moment time began. He's been a rebel, 'cause he's not a heavy metal man. They call me lithium, I'm a rebel of form. Although I'm a metal, I don't fit the norm. It seems to me society labels most metals as heavy or firm. My name is lithium, and by nature I squirm. They call me lithium, I've been there from the start. The very first metal when the world blew apart. I've traveled millions of miles to trillions of trials of explosive flight. My name is lithium, and I travel light. Now it's hard to exact me, you've got to extract me from igneous rocks or mineral stocks of H2O. Baby, that's where I flow. I must be worth it, 'cause when you unearth it, my product is you, and mighty infused in products that make lots of dough. Yeah. They call me lithium, I'm nimble and light. I float on the water, I burn brightest of bright. People, they mold me and fold me, but in the air you've got to work fast. My name is lithium, and there I won't last. They call me lithium, I'm a rebel, I know, but whatever one's path is, it's there one must go. I don't question my role. I remain flexible as a metal you can bend and twist. My name is lithium, and I still exist. I'm a little unstable, but yet I am able to lengthen the use of your battery's juice. It's my natural dower to add years of power. I may be corrosive and somewhat explosive, but yet I can calm and act as a bomb when a person's mood turns real sour. Yeah. They call me lithium. I go my own way. Been here from the beginning. I guess I'm here to stay. Right from the start, I learned the art to be both lion and lamb. My name is lithium, and in every gram I found the metal to be the metal I am.
Oh yeah. Here we go now. Yeah, ladies. After the bang, it was only dark. No illumination, not even a spark. The first light of stars that ever appeared took 400,000 years. It was so hot at the start, I called her into confusion. Even structured atoms did not see the inclusion. Evolution's first mass needed to cool before the particles emerged in a thick black pool. Recombination gave way to first light, an opaque glow, more subtle than bright. Huge orbs of matter began to form, and then the stars emerged from out of the storm. Hey.
It's a shower of power to turn into power, power to power as the stars begin to glow.
To drop and slow down was an act of dark forces kicked in, and things became attracted. Objects coalesced as they began to chill, and then the first formations were added to the dark. For the first time, chaos gave way to form. The structure revealed what would be the norm. You had the stars, the planets, and the rest of all things grouped in different hubs of elliptical slates. Gravity held all the objects in place, and so the overall expanding pace. Forces and matter formed families we now refer to as galaxies. Hey. I'm talking about. Here you go, gals. Oh yeah, and so the laws we know came to be. Attraction, escape, and entropy. Matter and forces, visible or not, soak the fires and stir the pot. Round and round and round we spin. The weaker outside, the stronger within. The galaxy as a whole expands, and in a basic way, that's where it all stands. About a third of the way from the edge of the freight, and a galaxy we call the Milky Way. 8 planets and their orbits run around a star we call the sun. It's all the only home of life we know. It's carbon based on H2O. Stroke of fortune should be treasured, for which all our actions must be measured. Our home in all things that are 8 planets and a star. 8 planets and a star. 8 planets and a...
See
take you back. I'm gonna take you way, way back. When the earth was just a ball of transmutation. 4.7 billion years ago, liquid oceans ruled the whole configuration. There was a little ball of gas that slid beneath the clouds of gas. And the atmosphere was buzzing, liquid in motion at its dozen. The bad at place, not a life, not a thing. And yeah, too, just a in the goo. Took about another billion for the seeds to turn cerulean. Water vapor slowly gathered as the tides pushed, pulled, and lathered. It was a tedious trip as for nuts and everything was hip. When the time was right, the sky bolted light in the soup. Blue. Molecules split up and grew. Natural laws were given pause to the changes caused in the soup. First there was algae, like the CO2. It expunged oxygen, and then before you knew, there was an atmosphere, life was in first gear. Symbiosis caused the laws to regroup in the soup. It all started here in the soup. Mr. Campbell's ain't got nothing on me, and this ain't your mama's gumbo. It all started here in the soup. Yeah.
Life wastes no time. Oxygen, sunshine, conditions so fine, kula, recipe waiting, climate abating, all things relating, bula. Bacteria of different sorts were first life forms known to cavort, but in a mere 2 billion years, a plethora of life appears. Life wastes no time, oxygen, sunshine, conditions divine, kula, species in waiting, fusing and mating, evolve, replicating, bula. Something strange is happening here. From out of nowhere, new things appear. Growing, reshaping, renewing, rescaping, migrating, invading, parading, that's life. Once it started, there's no going back. You can't contain it once it's out of the sack. Osmosis, inhalation, predation, generation, commodity, community, survival, that's life. Life wastes no time, oxygen, sunshine, conditions sublime, kula, that's life.
rapacious, audacious, vivacious, tenacious, a vivacious, that's life. Life wastes no time, oxygen, sunshine, conditions sublime, kula.
Life has been evolving on Earth for over 3.5 billion years, about 3/4 of the entire time our planet has existed. During that time, millions of the most unusual and different types of flora and fauna have come and gone. But perhaps for us, the most important time in evolution came only about 200,000 years ago, the mere blink of an eye in the overall timeline, for that is when modern humans first appeared. From this new and improved ape were to come profound and groundbreaking innovations, including fire starting, tool building, and the ability to communicate through speech. To this day, we continue to change the world with our innovations, both good and bad. Let's travel back in time now and take a poetic peek at what our closest relatives might have been thinking when our presence was first observed, and what an early attempt at communication through the use of words might have sounded like.
All right, let's get started, boys. Find a place to sit. We've all heard what's been going down. We've seen what the talk is here in the jungle. Now let's bring this meeting of the Council of Bonobos, Southeast Forest, trees 47 to 52, the Honorable Miss Gina and Miss Lola Bonobo, to order. Now, everybody, I assume, knows why we're here tonight.
Yeah, then you weirdies.
Hey, let's have a little more couth in our descriptive je ne sais quoi, huh, boys? Jeez. Now we're here to discuss some strange-looking new apes.
Yeah, like he said, the new
And the plan to keep said apes under observation. Now, Miss Gina and Miss Lola are here tonight to share. Hey, Bobo, hey, put away that banana. You know the rule. No
eating at the meeting.
Thank you. Now, Miss Gina and Miss Lola are here tonight to share their thoughts on the subject, so stop monkeying around and behave. Gentlemen, it is with great pride and heart-palpitating shortness of breath that I present to you tonight our reigning matriarchs, Miss Gina and Miss Lola Bonobo!
Now we're here to address this matter causing stress to our loving and peaceful branch community. Up here in the trees, we catch scents carried in the breeze and have vantage as far as the eye can see. But we must be careful not to tear our scant illusion to figments that ache foregone conclusions. Fertility, as we know, the great and wondrous thing, but usually better suited to the loins than to the brain. And now I see what you see, and we all see what the eyes see, but there's no reason to act icy just because we see something new. Now there's a strange new creature that's roaming around. They look like us, but they live on the ground. They stand tall and straight like sticks that are bound. They'd probably break if they ever fell down. They're pale and they're frightfully bare. Poor things, they'll freeze in the cold winter's air. And I wonder why I'm so moved to care. They're strangely like us, these apes with no ain't in town.
Yeah! Hold on, guys! I just saw some of those new eight. I saw them go in a hole in the hill. Oh, check it out! Check it out!
Beautiful
The storms never stop. I can't raise a crop. My livestock keep dying or fleeing the flock. It's testing our mettle, this need to resettle. Are we condemned to a nomadic end? My brood looks to me, but I've not much to give. Though I give what I can in this battle to live. It's dawning on me that our minds are the key. For the better we think, the better we'll be. A battle of wits, a challenge of wills. Life seems impartial in its saves and its kills. If we can adapt to this journey unmapped, we may emerge from this fate we seem trapped. Sometimes I despair, I question my strength, but my measure of worth is to go any length. I carry a thought carries me. It's a voice in my head that inspires clarity. It says arrive, strive, thrive, survive. Arrive, strive, thrive, survive. The challenge to feed and warmth that we need. We sacrifice all for the loved ones we breed. We teach them our knowledge, we pass on our skills. We try and prepare them for all of life's ills. And we ask of ourselves, do we give what we need? Have we given the right things so they may succeed? And we ponder the path which upon them we've led. Will they navigate smartly on the pathways ahead? Yet somehow we'll know that forward we'll go. We'll harness the powers of the rain, wind, and snow. By molding the future, by molding the past, and collectively knowing we'll know how to last. But my mind weighs the question again and again. Oh, it seems there's no answer to this pugnacious din. What is our purpose and why do we live? But the only reply that I have to give is arrive, strive, thrive, survive. Arrive, strive, thrive, survive. Arrive, strive, thrive, survive. Arrive, strive, thrive, survive.
The mind is so full of wonder, and a wonder be. How can so help
feel so like a child sometimes when your youth washes over me. For life's something of give and take, a sea of ebb and flow. And often we are fool enough to think it's path that we may know. But truth be told, the days unfold, and when each rise and fall, there's just one thing can urge us on, and that's this thing called hope. And I live to see flourish like the flowers in the leaf, and I thrill to tend the seedlings of the seed who grew in me. And I hope that if I nurture you, someday you'll nurture me. When in the pale of winter becomes a memory.
More people, more stuff, never seems to be enough. When supply don't meet demand, fairness and detente be damned. Long ago when we were new, our numbers and our needs were few. We focused on our basic talents, and that kept things much more in balance. But then somewhere along the path, some type A folks discovered math. It wasn't long before most riches were owned by a few sons of bitches. That's what we call civilized, when most folks' lives are compromised. A tiny fraction benefits, they get the fruits, we get the bits. More people, more stuff, there never seems to be enough. When supply don't meet demand, the hand-to-mouth gets out of hand.
Hey, Supply,
Yeah, demand.
I'm gonna need a whole lot of people.
How many people?
Thousands of people.
1,000?
Yeah, 1,000.
What do you need that many people for?
I need them to push around rocks and stones.
Rocks and stones.
Rocks and stones. They're for these dudes called pharaohs. They own and run everything, you know. Now they want to build these humongous monuments out in the middle of the desert, made out of rocks and stones. I think they want to do that to make sure we know they're special. Anyway, I need thousands of people to push around these rocks and stones to make up these monuments.
These pharaoh dudes, I assume, got enough money to pay for all these people?
Oh, Supply, you do have a sense of humor.
Okay, assuming I can get that many people, how these pharaoh dudes gonna motivate them to work?
Well, threats of starvation, death, those are good motivators. But I had a thought. Maybe you ought to supply a bunch of beer and some bread. And how about some Egyptian hoochie-coochie dancers? What's with a look? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to keep things flowing.
All throughout man's history, there've been techniques like slavery. Keeping folks in different classes was just one way to control the masses. Better means have given birth to overpopulating Earth, but technically, as we progress, we leave behind a baby mess. The better off our prime to spend, and to the waste there seems no end.
before?
Here on Earth, we have human beings, lots of them.
Yeah.
And every 15 or 20 years, we grow another billion or so.
Yeah.
And what's more, you've been providing more medical care and more medicine, so all these people live longer and longer.
Dispense with the irony, please.
Jeez, somebody needs some happy juice.
Get on with it.
All right, so lots of these people want lots of things. They want houses in the middle of nowhere, cars and trucks, golf courses in the desert. Takes a lot of energy.
How am I supposed to supply all this energy?
Don't matter, the song is it's cheap and quick. That reminds me, I read an article that said you could blast a mountain into rubble in a matter of months and find all the natural gas you could ever need.
And what about the mountain?
Not my concern.
You mean kind of like making a molehill out of a mountain?
Well, yeah, that's how the big people pass their gas on to the little people.
The more of us, the more we breathe, the more we breathe, the more we need, the more our drive is to succeed, the more we want what we don't need. If our world keeps getting hotter, if all our creatures are for slaughter, if nothing's left but tainted water, then our time here has been for naught. Hey, demand!
What do you say, Supply?
How about I give you a complimentary gift?
Complimentary gift. Now you're talking on like it's free.
How about I give you a huge supply of common sense and rationality? You dispense that all around and then make both of our jobs easier. What do you say?
I don't know, Supply. Let me check. I don't see much demand for common sense and rationality here. Sorry.
Seems like we got a whole supply of sorry here.
Sorry.
See what I mean? More people, more stuff, there never seems to be enough when supply don't meet demand. And it never does. The balance chit hits the fan.
The ball of life spins fast and true. Sunrise, sunset, seasons four. A trip around the sun brings 1 year more. Land mass only 30%. Resource rich until it's spent. Boundaries fading in our wake. How many billions can it take? Waters everywhere now reflect. Centuries of careless raw neglect. Creatures dwindle on the brink. By our hand may go extinct. Delicate balance, intricate weave. Rely upon the remnants that we leave. Echoes of our choices ring. Imprints of our footprints cling. There are limits to this little blue ball. It can't expand and it cannot sprawl. A finite rounder in a monotone spin. We must compromise to the limits within.
Crazy claims and made up truth. How long can we tolerate this forsooth? We need progress, we need jobs. Not a lot of bunk from science snobs. Mankind needs this space to grow, conquering the natural as we go. Rivers dammed and mountains blown, help us master parts unknown. Economies need to stimulate, we need to grow and populate. Development, commerce, industry, these are the tools
race fast and true. Sunrise, sunset, seasons go. Another run of sun brings 1 year more. There's many other movements with a single blue ball. It's not to expand and expand our soul. A fine night brother in a monitor spins. We must find a way to get around on wind.
I feel my life expanding, changes in the air. I see that I'm standing on a path to everywhere. I feel a vast connection. Things that exist, I sense unlimited chances. My chances all have missed, and I feel a certain might as I begin to see the light. That the life I have is largely what I'll choose. If I think before I go, and I reason what I know, all the brighter I will sparkle, win or lose. I see life before me comes from a life past, and any journey forward is rooted in the past. Full sensation to be part of it all. And though I am a fraction, I feel anything but small. And the lives that I will touch are like treasures I will clutch, for they'll also be the lifeline touching me. And no matter what I learn, as the wheels inside me turn, there is one thing I will see with clarity. This is my life, my one special life. There never will be any other of me. This is my chance, my sentient dance. My time is at hand, an adventure as grand as my view. It's your life too. It's your life too. I view with fascination. Wonders never end. And it nurtures inspiration. Feelings deep within. Some people speak of heaven, in future lives. But the life that stands before me is the one where my faith lies. And I wonder what will be, what the future holds for me. And I ponder of the things I'll have to give. Surely life can shake our ground, one day up and one day down. But shadows my life, my own special life. Oh, then I can be is harnessed in me. This is our world, a delicate world, a place here in space where there's nothing else like me or you. It's your life too. Yes, it's your life too. It's your life too. It's your life too.
This is my world, this is our world, this is our world.
I wish you all peace, love, and food carts. Shane.
This is your world, this
More
is our
compassion,
world.
Lenora.
This is my world, this is
You
your
can't change the past, but you can change the future right now.
This is my world, this is
Let's work together to protect the future of our world. Hey.
As members of the human race, you all have value here.
World peace, Lyle.
Volunteer! For many hands makes light work, my friends. Wait.
Follow your light, care for each other, love, peace, and chicken grease.
Recycle, eat local, and barter. Joyce. Take care of each other.
Maybe we can have peace. Right.
How are our children?
Question everything and eat more vegetables. Allison. This show started with a bang. The biggest ever burst of universal power.
Cosmos blew and suddenly it sprang. A transformational, sensational, organic shower.
This show bids you have a blast and takes a bow into the now for evolution's cast.
Greatest action drama of all time, set on location with scenery that's unsurpassed.
13.7 billion years hence, our essence has carried forth. Shines the spotlight on the one life that we have. Cast the footlights on the steps toward our destination. Bring the sound up so our voices may be heard. My word, what a great sensation.
delicious, or vivacious, that's life. Life wastes no time, oxygen, sunshine, conditions sublime, Kula,